Alright, so I recently bought a few Mega Drive games. I'm pretty stoked because I managed to find a way to take my Genesis 2 and make it so that it fits Mega Drive carts. Not very hard, just grinded down the back edge of the slot here, and also around the corners you got to make it a little bigger, and now it fits normal Genesis North American carts, but also can fit the rounder, a little bit stranger looking Mega Drive carts from Japan. So yeah, stoked. So I started buying up some Japanese Mega Drive cartridges that I didn't think it would be crucial to read Japanese for, so like shooters and stuff like that. So this E-SWAT, yeah, it's kind of like side-scrolling shooting, sort of twisting, up and down shooting. Not so bad, not terrible, but not amazing. Also came across Forgotten Worlds. This was just recently made available on the Virtual Console for the Wii. So when I saw it, I was like, shit, well, I might as well get it on Mega Drive, and so I did. And it's not bad. It's made by Capcom. It's definitely not a terrible game. Got a bit of a anime feel to it. I really like the animated design of the characters and levels and stuff. You know, not the most amazing gameplay, but kind of cool. Shinobi 3, super fun game. Also came across Landstalker. Now this is definitely one that you would need to, know a little bit of Japanese to be able to follow this story on Mega Drive. But luckily I own it for Genesis anyway, in English, and that's the copy that I play. Yeah, I'm also a big fan of Alundra and some of the later games from these people. Awesome. Shining Force 1. This is a pretty rad thing to find on the Mega Drive, I think. Super good tactical RPG. This is the first one. I also have this for Game Boy, which is cool because I can't read this, obviously. So what I did was, I already had Shining Force 2 for Genesis, but I didn't have a box for it. So I managed to find a scan of the Shining Force 2 box art for Mega Drive from Japan, and I printed off like a super high-res version of it. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It looks awesome. And the art on here is way fucking cooler than what came on the North American version, which is this total Conan the Barbarian looking douchebag. So yeah, pretty happy to have come across those. Also, I found Darwin 4081, kind of like a space shooter action for Mega Drive, and Air Diver. I found out once I stuck this in the Genesis that it's actually Afterburner 2, I believe. Recently came across Phantasy Star 3, complete in the box. Obviously for Genesis with instructions. That's fucking awesome. Paid 15 bucks for this. I don't know if the guy knew what he had. There's a bit of a scratch on the cartridge graphic there, but what can you do, you know? It's complete. Pretty stoked to have that. Phantasy Star 4 is really good, but I never really played this one, so I'm sure it'll be pretty old school and whatever, worth it to own it. Started to recently pick up original Game Boy games also, just because they're getting a little older and they're going to start to get harder to find. So I found Tennis for like $1 at a thrift shop. Tetris, pretty sweet one to have for Game Boy. Alleyway, which is more or less a rip-off of Arkanoid, kind of like the Brick Breaker game that you get in your cell phone. And Boomer's Adventure in Asmic World, sort of like a bizarre top view action RPG kind of thing with horrible graphics, but whatever, kind of cool to have. Super NES, I found Blackthorn for a few bucks, like $5. It's a good game. It's made by Blizzard, same people that make Warcraft, Diablo, Starcraft, World of Warcraft, obviously. Thunder Spirits, it's like a side-scrolling space shooter. Can add it to my collection with Super R-Type and Darius Twin and games like that I really enjoy for Super Nintendo. And Final Fantasy 3 I found at flea market, and it wasn't too badly priced, so I grabbed that also because it's a classic. Also found my first boxed Famicom game, and it's Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. And this was recently remade for, you know, PlayStation 3 download and Xbox and stuff. But I really like the original a lot better. The new one's a polished piece of turd. And this game's just good how it was. You know, they never should have changed it. I find it kind of cool that the boxes are the exact same size as a VHS tape, which kind of makes sense in a way because, you know, in the 90s, that way in Japan, your games would fit on your shelf with your VHS tapes, and yeah, kind of all would be the same size. Makes sense because, you know, PS2 games are the same size as DVDs, and PS3 games are the same size as Blu-rays, so just kind of classic sign of the times, you know? I'm pretty happy to have this. I found this for, I think it was like $10 in a funny little pawn shop place. I've been meaning to show this one off for a little bit now. Star Tropics for NES, boxed complete. The box is a little beat up here and there, but for the most part it's, you know, definitely good enough to sit on a shelf and look good with a bunch of boxed NES games. So I'm super pumped about this. It's definitely up there in my favorite NES games ever. I never really played Zoda's Revenge. I never had a chance to. That's Star Tropics 2, the sequel. But yeah, I've been meaning to check that out. I'm probably going to download that on the WiiWare, like Virtual Console soon. The coolest thing about this though was back in the day, this came with like a little map on the back or something. And I'm going to be real delicate with it because it's super good condition right now. Basically your character's name is Mike. I don't know if you played the game. But this is like a letter from your uncle, and you're supposed to spray it with water, and it reveals a secret, like a secret area in the game where you can get hooked up with some crazy item, you know? So that's a pretty cool thing that they did back in the day. I guess you just spray a little water on there and secret image pops up. I haven't got it wet. I don't think I'm gonna. I'm gonna keep it nice. The whole booklet's in great condition. Full color like they all should be, but even nowadays some of them still come in black and white, so pretty classic stuff. Stoked on that big time. Also found Snake's Revenge on NES, and I'm a real big fan of the Metal Gear Solid series, so pretty pumped to have this. It's probably, you know, it's definitely not the best game out there, but it's just cool to have it if you're into, you know, Metal Gear. And yeah, the box is looking really good. You know, it's funny how old these things are, and when you find a good one, good condition, it's a pretty awesome thing. Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2 for NES. Boxed, complete, really nice condition. This thing is like perfect, you know? As perfect as you're gonna find in brand new NES games. And it comes with a fold-out poster and map and everything, and the whole package is just in great condition. I'm super stoked to have it. So yeah, those are my 3 boxed NES games for now, which is not too many, but they're hard to find, so I'm going to take my time collecting them and just get ones that are good. Also recently picked up a classic Nintendo controller. This is funny because it's not official licensed Nintendo stuff. It's like just a real close knockoff, but it works great. Plugged it in, you know, so whatever. I'm going to use it if I need it. Keep the box too because it's kind of neat. Now, this kind of bums me out because this thing is also a knockoff. It's not actually made by Nintendo, which is funny because of all the time and patience they went to stealing the packaging and reproducing it and stuff. It just seems a little cheaper than a Nintendo issued one. Basically the same thing, and it works. I tried it already, but decided to wrap it back up. You can see it's a little bit different color than a real SNES controller, which is like whatever. If you need one, plug it in. It works. Also grabbed a few NES cartridges. Golf, crappy game, kind of cool to have though. And these orange Nintendo boxes, you remember these things? These are classic. Not sure if they're even actually made by Nintendo, but they say Nintendo on there. And I got a Sky Shark from Taito, good side-scroll shooter for NES. Good game, that one. Really hard, but good. Section Z, Also, futuristic robot side-scrolling laser shooter. Fun, used to have it as a kid, and happy to have it again. Final Fantasy 1. Unfortunately didn't get the box or anything for this, but still cool to have because I didn't have an original version of it yet. So, Dragon Warrior 1. This was $5, not a bad deal. For a, you know, just like Final Fantasy 1, it's kind of cool to have it because I'm really into the later games, like Dragon Quest games. And yeah, kind of an epic timepiece. So yeah, that's the stuff I've gotten recently. Pretty happy with it. Add it to the collection.